Hey guys, what's happening? We're in Michigan, hanging out with Brian Wolfe, and we've gotten a lot of questions on the channel about Brian's black race car. So here it is. We got some updates. As you can see, it's not 100% ready to hit the track, but it's close. Brian, what's happening?
Yeah, well, again, a lot about what we'd like to do at Willis Performance is we do like to try different things. It's not just about putting a race car, putting it together and running it and holding that combination. We work with lots of great companies that have super good products. Last year, you may remember, we had a Whipple supercharger on it.
Yep.
We had a big stuff in it. All that stuff worked fantastic. We only were able to make it to one test session last year. The car went like 5 flat and the 8th with a really soft tune. We went to turn it up a little bit and we had a little issue with fueling, and then the track shut down, so we couldn't get the car back out. And then after that, we started to say, well, what are we going to do for next year?
Right.
To, again, educate ourselves and also educate our customers. So we decided to move to a ProCharger, and we also decided to go with this Haltech R5 system. I was super intrigued with it because it's a power distribution system and an ECU all in one.
Right.
So everything fits in one box. So we were able to take the speed wire out, all the other extra wiring, and everything is a CAN communication. So you can program the keypads to do what you need to do. So like the overhead keypad, I have start, fuel pump, water pump, all the controls up there. On the side, if we have to make a late calibration change, this will hold like 7+ calibrations. I'm not even sure the total number.
Yeah, I see. So Brian has an overhead when he's in the driver's seat keypad to start the car and turn on different things, but there's also this other keypad right here, and I'm assuming you can't reach that, so that's for your crew chief or somebody to
Yeah, that's for the tuner.
with?
I've worked exclusively since I started really racing heads-up racing with Jason Lee and Patrick Barnhill, and they've been great. And that pad is there, so we go up to the track.
Right.
And I'm inside the car. They're checking the track. Oh, the track's better than we thought. They'll come back, open the door, change the either the target drive shaft curve, spark retard, or whatever it might be. Slam the door and send it.
Right. So you don't even need, as a driver, to know that they're making the change.
Right.
You're going to focus on driving the car, doing what you're supposed to do as a driver, and they can worry about
Absolutely.
track conditions or putting a little more timing to it or taking some out.
Oh yeah, and more importantly, taking some out too. So again, it's having that tuner. Although I know how to calibrate and do that type of thing, but having a tuner that's so knowledgeable of track conditions and the way everything works that you're not second guessing anything. You can just focus on the car. So that was it. But with a system like this, which is so versatile. You can, and it comes with a wiring harness that, the one that we started with this car, it's 15 feet wire lengths.
Okay.
So that way, you don't have to put extra splices in, and you have a continuity. Also, because it's programmable, it has many ways that you can either read shock travel sensors, ride height sensors, all the data acquisition within the car, and you can program what wires those go into.
Okay.
There's no fuses in the car, much like the OBR power distribution system. They're all electronic fuses, right?
So that's fantastic for diagnosis, right?
Absolutely. So something goes wrong, you can get into the laptop, you can see, okay, what was it? And also, how often do you get like a little? It doesn't happen much, but you can get a little voltage spike or current spike, but it was, and you pop a fuse, but it didn't need to be popped, right there. And what these will do is allows that to be reset a couple times within the software. It says, okay, yeah, I really do got a problem, I'm going to leave it open. And that's a really great safety factor, and it's also really good on the track where you don't have an inadvertent fuse pop and then lose a race or not stop the car or whatever might happen. But the other thing that this has is it has 8 exhaust gas temperature sensors.
That's important.
So typically the first thing we do when you come back to the pit is, you look at drive shaft, you look at G meter, and then you go into integrity. I'm looking at the exhaust gas temps, and if I see something amiss there, it'll tell you what cylinder to go look at.
Right.
Or as you just said, hey, the thing was missing going down the track, pull the EGTs, that tells you what cylinder or cylinders are in trouble, and you go there and diagnose what's going on.
Right. Are you running 802s as well?
We're not running 802s in this, we're just running one for each bank.
Okay.
So the other thing that this can do is I did mention that this is programmable. So if you take a look, it does have a very nice tree structure. So let's say you'd go into sensors, and in this case I just pulled one up inadvertently, fuel pressure, and what it allows you to do is put the calibration in for it, what the display will be, the diagnostics for it, and then as I mentioned, the wiring. So the cool thing is it does let you assign it, and it tells you what the wire coloring is and how it is activated. So in this case it's just a sensor that you're reading, but when you start to get into things like fuel pump on off, other things, it also has generic enablers. So these are all things that allow you to have an enormous amount of flexibility, but at the same hand it does take some time, because you have to put that all in to make it work with your combination.
So this system really is versatile. It lets you do everything, and I'm assuming it does data logging too, so you don't need another standalone data logger?
Absolutely, yeah. It does the data logging, as you said. It has an oscilloscope in it, so as you're looking to make sure that your cam and crank are synced correctly, you've got the high-rated oscilloscope in there.
Right.
It is, and again, I think a lot of the aftermarket systems have some of these similar features today, but again, what intrigued me about this was I love the power distribution built in. I love having that wiring harness, knowing what color wires to go look for.
Right, that's extra cool.
And then again, as you said, having the built-in data logging as so many systems have now, I think I paid more for my first race pack when I first installed it than I paid for this system.
Right, race pack's a great product.
Absolutely, but it's a wonderful product. But again, with technology moving on, with this car, you don't need that.
Well, and less stuff in the car also simplifies things, less weight to carry down the track.
The one feature that I didn't talk about that I also really like about this is that R5 box, like I said, it's a power distribution system, it's an ECU, it's a data logger, and it's got a built-in network. So right within that, it's wireless. So I can take this laptop, I don't have to have the wires hooked up. A lot of other systems have that today as well, but again, having that built right into the box with nothing extra makes it really, really attractive and works extremely well.
Is there any complexity or extra complexity in the installation, or is it maybe easier when you go with a system like this?
To me, a system like this is easier because again, I've got the wiring harness that Haltech has laid out, and every connection that goes into the ECU, what that wire color is, and then where it goes. Now where the wiring becomes critical, and what a guy like Tom at High Voltage does, who wired this car, he says, okay, here's where all the circuits are, but these are going to go to the front of the car, these are going to go to different parts of the car, so then you put those in the right bundle so you have nice, neat wiring flow path through the vehicle. And again, different vehicles, like someone might have the fuel pump in the front, someone might have it in the back, likewise water pumps, etc. So they can't make the harness generic enough that you can just do a plug and play, because every race car is a little different. One thing I know we're going to get comments on below is the intake on here is not the intake we're going to run with the ProCharger. The intake we have on here is called a company in Australia called Innovate, I-N-O-V-O in the numeral 8, and it's a port throttle 8-stack system, super badass. We're going to end up, I think, using that on the Cyclone project that you and Abe are putting together. But it is so badass looking, we had to throw it on the car.
Yeah, Brian wasn't even here. He was doing something else in the shop, and we slipped that on there just to see how cool it would look. He actually walked in and was like, whoa! So we figured we'd leave it on there and give you guys a little tease just to give you a look at that thing. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's awesome. Yeah, and you'll show, and you'll see in the video that this has the Brian Tooley intake, super low profile, and works wonderful with the ProCharger and fits under a stock hood.
Yeah, so that's a show. We're going to have a fun time. We're going to work on Brian's car a little bit, and we got some great stuff coming up for you. So thanks for watching the Rev and Evan channel, and we'll see you soon.
And hit the subscribe.